We've heard a lot in recent weeks about bullying among teenagers and in particular cyberbullying. In other words, bullying someone using the internet or a mobile phone, how damaging it can be and how hard it is to stop. Well, students from one boys' secondary school in Dublin are going to try and stop it, or at least help in a week-long scheme that could be used by other schools. It's Drimnagh Castle Boys' School, and with us in our studio this morning to tell us more are Warren Farrell and Daniel Murphy, two students at the school. Thank you both very much for coming.
Thanks for having us. Good morning.
Warren, first of all, what is your school going to do this week?
Well, our school is mainly focused on peer facilitating, raising awareness about the issue of cyberbullying in particular, and helping to put together, a more meaningful cyberbullying policy, because in the past teachers kind of implemented the policies and they don't necessarily understand what's involved with Facebook, Twitter, all their likes. So we just feel social media is such a big part of daily life in students that we feel it's important for students to actually actively get involved, and we'd hope to set an example for other schools to follow and get involved as well. So I'll let Daniel in to say a word.
I think at the same time is students find more comfort in coming to their own peers. So because we're on social networking sites, they have more of a connection with us. So they can.
When you say about it, more of a connection with other students than with say teachers who to some extent might be a little bit naive about social media or may be a little bit inexperienced, do you mean that if a student had a complaint or they were worried that they should go to other students first?
Well, we've taken the steps to implement, we set up a confidential email address, Drimnagh Castle SES, so Student Council Support. So it's confidential between us and the Student Council body as it is, where people are delegated to oversee certain issues, because we feel it's sometimes easier to type something than say face-to-face to the principal, vice principal. So we've taken that step initially, and then we'd hope to maybe from that step to engage in open conversation with students.
Daniel and Warren, have you had much experience at the school or indeed outside the school of either yourselves or your friends being the victims of cyberbullying?
Not personally, but we do know from further research that students are finding this difficult, and we want to prevent it in our school, and by the best way of doing this is by a Bullying Awareness Week.
In the past 6 weeks, there's been 6 suicides due to cyberbullying, and the most recent was in Maynooth, I think, with Lara Gibbs, only 12 years old, which it's pretty it's pretty sad to see that kind of thing happening, especially because of stupid comments made on the internet.
Listeners who aren't at school or who are older, now while they may not be used to the to cyberbullying or they may worry about their own children experiencing it, in some respects it isn't all that different from traditional forms of bullying, and the problem remains the same, that people who are being bullied often don't want to come forward because they don't want to be seen as informing or ratting, or they're worried that there might be a stigma by saying, if I'm being bullied, I'm somehow weak. Well,
as you said yourself, cyberbullying does have the tendency to go reverse to the traditional types of bullying in the schoolyard as it is, but it's a problem that people don't feel comfortable with talking to people. I think it's more a teen culture really, that young people don't feel comfortable talking to people as much as they feel comfortable hiding behind a computer screen, and I think that's where the bullying stems from in the first place.
I think that again it's vital that why our student council should be helping and running this, because again it's great for the students to feel comfortable coming to the likes of ourselves and talking about their problems. Yes, if problems do get serious enough, the higher people within the school will be notified, but our main aim is to just make students feel comfortable within their own environment, and that at the end of the day that we can hopefully make a big effort towards cutting out bullying in any types of form in our school.
We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, that unlike when I say more traditional forms of bullying where it may come down to one person's word against the other, the difference with mobile phone and the internet is
it's anonymous.
But you have a record, you have proof that it happened to some extent.
Yeah, I suppose, but people don't always keep the proof. On the internet it's very easy to, on Facebook it's easy to archive something, get rid of it, brush it to the side. It's on the internet always, but unless you're a computer genius it's not always easy to find the information. So the point we're trying to make, if something like that does happen, I suppose the point of the week will be not to respond as opposed to get involved. It's easy to comment back on something on the internet, but I think the main point is not to respond, either block the person, copy the page, print it off and bring it into a higher authority as it is, to make your point.
Daniel, I gather you're also going to be talking to students at primary school as well, because while it might seem alarming, it does exist for primary school students, many of whom have access to the phone and the internet already.
Oh, definitely. It's mad how many students in primary school they probably know how to use the computer more than we do. So I think it's definitely, the problem starts here. So I think by getting them more involved with this anti-bullying week is a great thing, but at the same time they're also getting a feeling for secondary school life, so they won't be shocked for when they get there. So I think it's great that we're involved with the primary school.
It's you yourselves as students who are going out to the primary schools to talk to them.
Peer facilitation, basically. So we feel students respond better to getting not taught, but like having advice being given to them by students like ourselves. And we just like to say that we made a promotional video. So for like primary schools, we'll be bringing around the primary schools. We hope to visit 7 in the next few months. Yeah. So if you want to give it a look on YouTube or whatever, it's Drimnagh Castle cyberbullying. So
at the risk of being sexist, and apologies if it's going to appear so, that the reporting of cyberbullying has been that it is a bigger problem amongst girls than it is for boys. That while I'm sure that it's still a problem in boys' schools, that it appears to be more so amongst girls. Is that your experience?
Well, from the research we've carried out, every girl that's committed suicide, every person that's committed suicide has been a girl that we researched. So you would have to say that it is, but at the same time, I think lads have a bigger tendency to take it as banter or crack, as opposed to bullying. And so girls are more vulnerable in their younger age, I guess.
I think that's the vital thing. It's very hard to determine that line between friendly banter and bullying. A lot of girls probably take it to heart a lot more, where, as Warren touched upon there, lads are lads, they find this banter. So I think that's the main problem there. Anyway.
Warren Farrell and Daniel Murphy, thank you very much for coming into our studio this morning, and both from Drimnagh Castle Boys School, who are running an awareness programme this week on cyberbullying that hopefully can be rolled out to other schools. Thank you again for coming into us.